Welcome to Breakfast with Loui. Today we are having breakfast. You've seen this before many times, probably. But it's breakfast. And the other day I made some French toast. I made a whole loaf and I had leftover. And now I'm eating the leftover so it doesn't go to waste. Why let it go to waste? I have two more here for Paigey in case she wants some French toast. I'm heating it up. If she wants some, she's welcome to come and get it. And I'm gonna have 3 slices, and this is a different challah bread that I found. I forgot what I found it, but it's not like a regular challah bread. It was squared. It was like rectangle, not squared. I mean, it was like a rectangle loaf of bread, not pre-sliced, but it was weird. I've never seen one of those before, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna snag this one because this makes for a nice big French toast. It's different. It still tastes the same though. It tastes the same, but it's different. It's a different taste the same. Anyway, I'm gonna eat breakfast and then we'll talk about a little bit about something. We'll see. But I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast and I'll see you in. For you, it's gonna be a split second. I'm gonna snap my fingers and the food will be eaten. Just watch. Done, folks. Completely done, cleaned. Everything is spick and span. Now we can talk about something. What are we talking about? I don't have a script. Again, I don't have a script, folks. I have no idea. Actually, I do have ideas. I always have ideas. In this crazy world that we live in, I always have ideas, folks. It's a crazy world. It's always been a crazy world. From the beginning, it's been a crazy world. From the beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And He created humans. And from there on, but humans didn't start. Humans were not the first evil ones. Angels also became evil. But that's a story for another breakfast day. Today we're going to talk about human evilness. Yes, that's a word. And if it's not a word, it should be a word. Because I'm making it up. Evilness. It is a word. It is a word. And if it's not, Webster, put my name next to it. Anyway, humans have been evil from the beginning. From the moment, well, not from the moment, but from the moment they discovered that they were naked. And when I say they, I mean Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Steve and or Eve and Sheila. Sorry, Jerry. Adam and Eve. When God created Adam from the dirt of the ground. It must have been red dirt because Adam means red. Dirt, red, man in Hebrew. So it must probably a reddish dirt. And Adam means man, also means red. So that's the first man, named man. And then Eve was not created from the dirt of the ground, but from the side of man. God took a rib from Adam, and as the saying goes, God took a rib from the middle. He didn't take part of the head to make the woman superior, or a part of the foot to make the woman inferior. He took a part of the rib to make the woman co-equal. Men and women are different. Besides what people want to tell you nowadays, that women are equal or superior to men. No. Men and women should be equal, should be partners. But women and men are not the same. Men, on average, is stronger than women. Men, on average, run faster than women, bicycle faster than women, swim faster than women, are stronger. I think I already said that, didn't I? They're stronger than women, on average. Women have their attributes because God designed man for one purpose and women for another purpose. Women also think differently. I have kids. They think differently. They act differently. If you have kids, or if you married someone or dated someone, you know that the opposite sex is different. There's a reason why it's different. One reason is for procreation, so that the human species can continue. And then the other one is mental. Women think differently from men. It's just, on average, I'm not saying some women can't think similarly, but women are designed differently, besides what everybody else says. So from the beginning, man and women were created to be eternal until they sinned. And God said, you shall surely die. And they did die spiritually in that moment, but eventually they died physically also. And ever since then, ever since the fall of creation, the universe has been groaning for redemption. I believe that the whole universe and man was created in perfection, and they lived in perfection until man sinned, and from that point on, the universe has been degrading. Same thing with man. Man was created to live eternally, and I wasn't going to go down this path, but now I'm here. I start talking, I open my mouth, and things come out. So man was created to be eternal. And man was created in perfection. So there was no disease. There was no, nowadays we have microbes and viruses and things that harm us and kill us, cancer. But all those things must have been beneficiary, not something that would hurt us. But with time, after the fall, things began to change. Disease began to enter the world. Decay began to enter. People started living less and less, and it was not the same as from the beginning. But when men and women were created to live eternally, just imagine having a body that's disease-free. Doesn't have any defects. There's nothing wrong with the body. The mind is used 100% capacity. Nowadays, scientists say that we can't really use 100% of our brain, and it's probably right. I can't remember where I put my, what's that thing that I lost the other day? I can't remember where I lost it. And I can't remember what I lost. Do you remember? You don't remember either. Yeah, we can't use 100% of our brain, but imagine those people in the beginning, even after some decay began to happen. When I say decay, to the cells, degradation, every time cells split, there's some mistakes done in the replication of cells, and those mistakes can create defects in birth, or can create cells that become cancerous. But in the beginning, these people, they could use 100% of their brain. Imagine having hundreds and thousands of people walking around the planet capable of using 100% of their mind. Imagine all these people smarter than Einstein, smarter than the smartest people that we know of in recent times. And imagine the capacity that they had for their brain, to use their brain. Imagine what they could have created. But apparently, being so smart didn't help those people back then, because it created a planet full of evil people. Those people were so evil that God had to destroy the whole planet. They had to flood the whole planet to destroy every single one of them. Only Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and his 3 sons' wives survive along with the animals on the ark. And imagine for 120 years, it's not like it happened overnight, but for 120 years, Noah and his sons are building the ark. And I'm sure Noah talked to people and warned them, and they laughed at Noah. They scoffed at Noah. They mocked Noah, most likely. And for 120 years, Noah built the ark. And then one day, the floods came. And they kept coming. And the fountains of the deep burst open. And the planet began to break apart. And water gushed from underneath. And from the top, and from the clouds that burst open, and volcanic activity just became tremendously, increasingly, actively. I couldn't think of a word, so I was going to keep going with actively, EV, whatever. You know what I mean. When you can't think of a word, you just keep going. You make up words. But there was such tremendous activity, volcanic, earthquake activity, water activity. Water is very damaging, and I go across the country and I see everywhere I go. You can see what the water has done. You can see all the features, everything that you can see. You can see that, at least I can see that it had to be done with water. It couldn't be done any other way. I mean, some of the features are volcanic, but most of the features are all based on water. So God had to intervene, because even though people were so smart, they were so evil. And they were evil to the point that God, who created men and women, had to destroy men and women because they were evil. And that's who we are, folks. We are evil. If you tell yourself that you are not evil, then you are lying to yourself. Every one of us is evil. I am evil. I am despicably evil. It's just, even if you haven't harmed a fly, your thoughts are evil. You are still evil because you were born. You were born. Just the fact that we were born in sin, and there's not one that's perfect, not one. So, what's the hope? What's the hope for all of us? Well, there is no hope. There is no. If you think about it, there's no hope. But hope came 2,000 years ago. God knew. God wasn't blindsided. And he didn't go, oh, darn it, man has become evil. What am I going to do? I'm going to have a cup of coffee, have breakfast, and I'm going to think about this for a few million years. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This one got me. No, even before God created the heavens and the earth, even before he created men, even before he created angels, he already knew that man was going to be evil. He already knew what was going to happen. I mean, he's the creator that he holds every single atom in his hand. He holds them all together. God doesn't have a hand, but God the Father doesn't have a physical hand. He's a spirit. But God holds every single atom and whatever other smaller particles than atoms exist. He holds them all together. The moment God stops holding all those atoms and particles together, the universe will fall apart. So the God that holds, just imagine, it's going to hurt your head. You know, how many atoms are in this cup? Can't count them. I mean, there's a finite amount, but I wouldn't be able to count them. But imagine now 2 cups. You know, imagine you full of atoms. Imagine the whole universe full of atoms. And God holds them all together. And God knows every single one of them. How do you have a mind like that and not know what's going to happen? So God knows the past, the present, and the future as if everything is one. And God knew well that man was going to be evil and man needed redemption. And there was, I don't know why, you know, I can't sit here and tell you exactly why did God choose to have a physical sacrifice, a blood sacrifice. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly. All I know is that when Adam and Eve were naked and they found out that they were naked, they covered themselves with leaves, and God took the skins from this animal and he gave them to them. So this animal was sacrificed, basically, was killed, sacrificed for the skin, so that they could be cover their sin with the skins. So maybe that's where the sacrifice came from. An animal had to be sacrificed to cover the sins of Adam and Eve because they felt naked. So from that point on, the animal sacrifice came into the picture. The people sacrificed animals to God, and people also sacrifice animals to gods, small g. There's tons of those all over the place, but there's only one God by nature, and that's how it began. So God knew that man could not redeem himself. He needed something higher than himself to redeem himself, to redeem themselves, to redeem ourselves. And God chose to become one of us, to redeem us. And he did that on Passover, when on Passover a lamb would be sacrificed for the sins of the nation of Israel. And there was another lamb that would be taken outside the gates and let go. And Yeshua was taken outside the gates, and then he was sacrificed. And not a bone was broken because no defect was found in him. So, yeah, we are evil, and we're going to continue to be evil. And I think evil is just going to continue to spread, and it's going to be more and more prevalent. You know, I see that a lot. And when I said before that we are all evil, and if you don't think you're evil, you know, what thoughts do you have? Sometimes you have thoughts, it just comes to your mind, and you're like, why am I even thinking this? This is absurd. But it's evil in us. We are evil. We are pure evil. I have said this before. if you have children, you don't have to teach them how to do evil. You have to teach them how to do good. You don't have to teach a child not to slap another child, or not to hit you, or hit a pet, or break something. You have to teach them not to slap someone, not to break something, you know. And that's just the way we are. From the moment we come out, we are evil. But we need redemption. And redemption came 2,000 years ago. It's up to us now to accept that redemption and be redemptive. Redemptive. That's not the word I was looking for. Be forgiven. So, and without forgiveness, there's no... Your eternal life is on a balance. And as the evil of the world continues to increase, one day, probably soon, we're going to find ourselves with a one world leader. Because just look around you. Look what's happening. If you don't see it, then you are blind. You know, if you thought that the lockdowns were the beginning and the end of all that's coming, no. That was just the beginning. That was just a dry run. It's coming. They're already talking about banning currency for our own good. And there's going to be coming some type of electronic currency that, and then it's not too far from, if you have some mark on you that's personalized, nobody can steal your identity because it's only you that can use it. You'll always have it on you. It could be on your right hand, for example. You know, it's so simple. You go somewhere and they have a scanner and they scan your, there's a scanner. You know, you go to Planet Fitness, they have a little scanner. You go with a card or the phone and scans you. And I imagine you have an ID for everything. You just go in there, beep, yeah, you're good, sir. You know, or it's maybe on your forehead. It's very easy. You just walk past it, and you walk away. You know, how cool is that? It's very cool. Very cool technology indeed, until you find yourself lost for eternity because you chose to get that. And no worry, folks, because if you believe in God, you're not going to get it by mistake. It's not an injection. It's nothing like that you're going to get it by mistake. Anyone who takes it, knowingly takes it, and knowingly knows that by taking it, they're defying God, and they're forever lost. Forever lost. No chance for redemption once you take it. So do yourself a favor, and if you are still alive one day when this happens, don't take it. It's better that you die by the guillotine or whatever they have to kill you than for you to take that. Because then you die twice. Then you die a second death that's even more horrible than the first one. But that's a story for another day, folks. I'm going to finish my coffee that's probably very cold by now, and I'm going to stop talking, because if I don't stop talking, I'm just going to keep on talking. So I'll see you around, folks. Oh, it's cold.